My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. Today, I have the OneTigris mini titanium wood stove, and my plan is to cut a hole in the side to make a feeding port. I have some questions about this. There are some unknowns. The main unknown is what is the grade of this titanium. Cutting titanium can be easy or it can be very difficult. It depends on the grade. You may know this, you may not, but a grade 1 is a very soft titanium. A grade 5 is very hard. So with this stove, I have no idea what to expect here. My assumption is that this is a lower grade. I do not think this is like a higher, but ultimately we'll find out when we begin cutting on it. Just in case you haven't seen the preview of this stove, this is a triangular shaped wood burning stove. The thing is this. The company forgot to put a feed port on it. So when you have a pot on top, it is very difficult to feed this stove. It's a rather poor design, to be honest. That's why we're going to cut a hole in it. Now to do so, I have some tools, and hopefully we can get this job with what I brought. We have a Jackery power station. This is the 1500. We have a Dremel tool. And we have a number of attachments which we can use to cut a hole in this. I've been thinking about the size of the hole that I want to cut in this, and I was thinking a hole the size of a business card would be perfect. It's not too big, and at the same time, it's not too small. We want to be able to cut a feeding port into the side here, but we don't want to destroy the integrity of this piece. And because of that, we can't have the hole being too big. In my opinion, I think this size is going to work really well. But in the end, it's a gamble. Who knows? That looks pretty good there, everyone. So I'm going to take this pencil and do an outline. What I'm going to do here is put on a brand new resin cutting wheel. As you all have seen, I got this log out. I put the piece of metal on top. I'm now ready to cut. This is going to help stabilize this as I'm cutting. My glasses are on. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Let's see what happens. So take a look at that, everyone. We've made our way through the bottom portion of this. It's slow going, but it's definitely working. The thing about titanium in this case is that it's soft, and while you're cutting on it, it has a tendency to sort of like gum up. That goes back to the grade of the titanium itself. What I'm finding, folks, that works really well, start with a resin cutting wheel, This works incredibly well for cutting through it. It's very slow. It doesn't throw a lot of sparks, but it's brittle, so you have to go real gentle with it. But it cuts very finely. So this is the brute force. This is the fine cut. I've gone through all sorts of cutting instruments here, even those that are designed for metal, and I find that these resin ones work the best as far as the brute force goes. And we're done. So check it out, everyone. The hole has been cut. All in all, that was fairly simple. It did take some time, mainly just because it's a slow process. The titanium has a tendency to be very flexible, gummy kind of, but all in all, it wasn't that hard. Now, this is pretty jagged, so I'm going to smooth this up a little bit, and then we'll fire this stove up. I had a number of people in the comment section saying that you'll never cut through that titanium. No big deal, nothing to it. You have to remember, well, it's important not to take to heart everything that you hear. Oh yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Smooth enough, folks. I'm done. A few things to point out. Make sure you have your glasses on if you decide to do this as well. I did this outside and the wind is blowing this way. So as I was cutting this, all of the dust, the smoke, everything was just flying away. You have to be smart about it. Now let's set this stove up. Right off the bat, folks, lighting this is so much easier. I can go right through the side instead of having going through the top. That is awesome. We'll get some big pieces in here, and then we'll make some coffee real quick. Check that out. That is a serious improvement. It's coffee time, everyone. Cheers. Cheers to good work. So, we cut that out, no problem. And this stove now is 100 times better. As is, everyone. I would not recommend purchasing this stove. I don't think I'm going to do any more videos about it. This will be my last one, but because there's no feeding port on this stove, I do not recommend it. Do I recommend that you purchase this and then cut a big hole in it? It's completely up to you. It does take quite a bit of work, and the thing is this is nonsensical. OneTigris should know better. They should know that a wood stove needs a freaking feeding port, but for whatever reason, they did not include one. My ultimate review for this stove is this: it's not worth your money. There are better wood stoves out there, stoves that have feeding ports, stoves that are just as big, just as lightweight. There's no real reason to purchase this stove. Cutting a hole in this was an interesting proof of concept. More than anything, I just wanted to do it. It, without a doubt, improves the functionality and the burn of this stove. It actually makes it usable, and it does so without jeopardizing the structural integrity of the stove itself. I'm going to get in contact with OneTigris and share my thoughts and opinions about this stove. Of course, they will see the episodes. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they can bring this stove back out with a feeding port, because outside of that, the stove is great. I really like the design. For this episode, everyone, I am done. Make sure to comment down below and share your thoughts. I'm interested to hear what you all think about this stove now that I've cut a big hole in it. Take care, be well, strength and honor. By the way, what do you all think about this hat? I'm trying to get accustomed to wearing a ball cap, namely for the summer months that are coming. Before I hit the road to come out here to Lone Wolf Mountain, I was joking with Susie that I look like an undercover cop, but like the one that really sticks out like a sore thumb, you know what I mean? Like the guy who's just like this, and everybody in the neighborhood knows like what he is. Anyways, I'm rambling. Bye for now. Take care. Strength and honor.